Hello and welcome back to Rock Cycle. Hope you're having a good day. Today we're going to be looking at one of my personal favourite bands, Bring Me the Horizon, and whether they're overhated or overrated. So let's get into it. So this is a new thing I'm going to be doing on the channel every now and again when there's not many albums or festival content to talk about, where we're going to be looking at a band that is very popular but also really hated and is very controversial. Today we're going to be looking at Bring Me the Horizon. Some of the ones I'm planning on looking at in the future are like Oasis, Five Finger Death Punch, Cortinas, and the one coming up in the next episode hopefully is the 1975. So if you've got any opinions about them, whether you love them or do you hate them, let me know in the comments and your comment might get featured in the next video. So yeah, we're just going to have a bit of a chat about Bring Me the Horizon. Well, I say chat, it's not really a chat since I'm doing all the talking. But I guess maybe you want to pause the video and pretend you're talking to me, so feel free to do that. But if not, comment down below what you think about them. Are they overrated or are they overhated? And I'll happily reply to you and have a bit of a chat with you all down there. So let's first of all go on to why do people really like Bring Me the Horizon. This is based off my own thoughts and opinions, what I've seen online, and then we'll have a look at some of your comments from my last video. So Bring Me the Horizon are really this unique band that go from everything from deathcore to cheesy pop rock, in a way that I don't really think any other band out there can do. Whatever they do, there's always really clever writing behind it, so they make a great song no matter the style. They completely reinvent themselves on every album, but you can definitely see a bit of a natural evolution over their career. Their songs are always packed with energy, emotion, strong bridges and really powerful choruses, no matter what style they're doing. And they are arguably one of the most important metal bands, at least when they were metal, of the 21st century, just from their influence they have on the metal scene, despite not necessarily being one of the biggest metal bands out there. So I'm just going to go through the comments from what you guys have said about why you love them. Thank you to everyone who commented. Just going to have to filter out all the angry boomers from the comment section because I dared to criticise Brexit. So first have Ollie Wright, big shout out, saying, I also love all the Bring Me stuff from Count Your Blessings, especially I like their range. And Marcus saying, I prefer Ammo and That's the Spirit to their older stuff. Sepreternal and Suicide Season is too heavy for me. And I think that's a bit of a theme that a lot of fans have, that because Bring Me is such a massive range, they really like one section of their career, like they like their new stuff or they like their old stuff. And I think it's definitely, maybe not a majority, but a big portion of people prefer their new stuff compared to the older stuff. And that is one of the great things about the band, like maybe you don't like deathcore but you like more sort of like indie and pop rock, then you can listen to the songs from the new album and vice versa. And we also have Alex saying that he really loves them even though he's not a fan of Ammo, so yeah, there we go, someone who likes their old stuff but not their new stuff, and that's completely But he also says the band saves his life with their really emotionally powerful song, It Never Ends. He says it's a song that he can really relate to with its good lyrics and it's a really genuine manner that the song's delivered in. I think that's another thing why so many people love Bring Me the Horizon is the emotive lyrics behind their songs as well as the meanings. And I think Bring Me the Horizon are really good at creating this strong emotional connection to people like Alex here. So it seems Bring Me the Horizon are really good at creating a strong emotional connection with people like me and Alex here. And it really creates this sort of next level of love and appreciation for the band when you feel you emotionally connect to them rather than you just enjoy their music. I do just want to say I'm happy that they managed to help you out, Alex, and if you're still feeling down or anything at all, DMs are always open and I'm happy to chat. So now let's go on to some of the reasons why people dislike them and maybe some of the counter arguments to disliking them. First of all really is their old cringe from the early days of the band, from This Is What the Edge of Your Seat Is Made For and Count Your Blessings. It really did seem like at this time in the band, when they were new and just starting out, they really had the mentality of louder is better, and there's a strong reason why the band themselves dislike it these days. A lot of people when they first came onto the scene just saw them as a talentless group of young lads from Sheffield who just banged their instruments and screamed down the microphone with little talent or skill to actually back up. They really were a defining MySpace style emo band, which was all the rage at the time, but it's very cringy to look back on. I was very fortunate my parents never let me go for the whole emo aesthetic with the hair and style of t-shirts, but instead I got an afro, so I don't know if that was much worse. So yeah, they really fell into this whole cringy MySpace emo style music, and while they weren't the worst at that, case A, Black Veil Brides, they were certainly pretty cringy to look back on, unfortunately. But we did see them start to change to a more melodic approach and incorporating new elements into their music as a response to this in the albums There Is a Hell and Suicide Season. That saw them progress away from this aggressive deathcore into more metalcore style rock. Another reason why people really dislike Bring Me the Horizon is how obnoxious they are. Now this certainly seemed to be more of a problem in their early days when they certainly acted with a lot of entitlement despite not being that big. And there's also cases like Ollie Sykes allegedly pissing on a fan. Now he has denied this, but there seems to be a lot of people out there that do seem to think it is true. Now I do think the band did certainly intentionally, to a degree at least, play into being the bad guy, especially in their early days of their career when they were being bottled and booed off stage and had bottles of piss lobbed at them. I think they sort of liked the villain persona that they had and they sort of played into it because it gave them a bit of an edge and a bit of a unique selling point. And while I have certainly toned it down these days, it seems to have become obnoxious in a different way, particularly Ollie Sykes, some people would say. His music's become a lot more politically and socially aware and it's become a bit preachy, and that certainly puts some people off, but at the same time it makes a lot of people like them because they like social issues being brought up in their music. Now probably onto the biggest criticism of Bring Me the Horizon is that they are a sellout band. Now yes, these days when they've made Ammo and That's the Spirit, they certainly appeal to a lot more people, have a lot more reach and have got a lot more successful than their albums in the past like Count Your Blessings and Suicide Season. But I certainly wouldn't call Ammo or That's the Spirit radio-friendly pop rock. Maybe there's a few songs on those albums that fits into that category, but a lot of the stuff on those albums is not what is typically played on the mainstream radios. And I think particularly with the band having a big inspiration from Linkin Park, I think you can clearly see the inspiration from them to move into that direction. So it's something that they naturally wanted to do rather than it's something they've done just for money. Some people praise Bring Me the Horizon for their big variance of styles and some people hate it. While I personally really like a band that can do all sorts of things and adapt to new music, and I think it makes them a lot more interesting to listen to, it all creates this whole thing where they don't really belong anywhere. They don't belong in the metal community, they don't really belong in the rock community, and they don't really belong in the indie or pop rock community. So they just sort of float around in between all three of them without particularly belonging to one community. I'm pretty sure this means they have problems selling tickets to some tours and shows because some people may want to go and see just their new stuff but not want to hear any deathcore or metalcore, and some people may want to go and see some deathcore and metalcore but not want to see any pop rock. So then they're not going to buy a ticket when they know half the set list is going to be something they hate. This does also create a lot of annoyance from fans when the band moves away from the genre that they liked and it was the genre that made them like the band. You'll see from every tweet or YouTube video the band put out for Ammo, there's so many people commenting underneath it like, oh, I wish they were playing Suicide Season style music again. And I do certainly understand why people feel annoyed when they love some of the older music and they're just not making it anymore. Yes, the band has to change and evolve and not just put out the same record again and again and again. But Bring Me the Horizon have taken evolving their music to extremes that I don't think any other band can compete with. So a lot of fans do really feel a bit left behind by the band and feel they were used by the band to grow an audience and have then just been betrayed. And the final main criticism I've seen of Bring Me the Horizon when I've looked online is that they are bad live. I think this does really vary and it seemed to be at its worst around the time of That's the Spirit, but I think they have improved a lot recently. Ollie Sykes has been very public that he has had problems with his voice and has even damaged his vocal cords to a degree. So that has unfortunately limited their live performances sometimes, although I do think they have got a lot better these days. I think one of the benefits of the new music they're writing is it can much better suit Ollie Sykes' voice so he doesn't have to put as much strain on his vocal cords as he did with his old aggressive music. So honestly overall I think it is hit or miss, which it is for every band, but I do think predominantly Bring Me the Horizon are pretty good live. So overall, I feel the positives outweigh the negatives personally, and I would say Bring Me fall into overhated rather than overrated. But do you agree with me? Let me know down in the comments. What are your thoughts on the band? Do you love them? Do you hate them? And also any comments on 1975 for the next video, that would be great. As always, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe, the usual YouTube shit, and I'll see you in the next video.